up in the morning edition, Bahamas Power and Light CEO addresses outages, the F&M celebrates 92 victory anniversary, and it's Monday, time to make that trip to Grand Bahama. It's the beginning of a brand new week full of possibilities. Welcome to the morning edition. I'm Jimenita Swain. Now, before we get started with news, let's see how our weather is shaping up with Basil Dean and the Bank of the Bahamas Weather Report. Good morning, Basil.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the Bank of Solutions.
Good morning, Jimenita. We get you started with our ZS Tower cam, which is picking up a couple buildups over the waters just to the north of the island. As we go to our satellite picture, we still have that stubborn and persistent mid to upper level trough over the extreme northwest Bahamas, in particularly Abaco and Grand Bahama. They could be experiencing some showers and thunderstorms as we speak. Elsewhere, high pressure is in control of our weather. Outside of our studios, we have partly cloudy skies. Temperature at 80 degrees, relative humidity 93%, south-southeast winds at 2 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,014.6 millibars, that's 29.92 inches, and the pressure is falling. Temperatures around the islands this morning: in Marsh Harbor, Abaco 82 degrees, Green Toll Key at 83, also Freeport reporting 83, 82 in the Berry Islands, Alistown, Bimini, 84, 83 in Harper Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cat Island, Staniel Key, Kemp's Bay, St. Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros, all at 83 degrees. More 83s in San Salvador and Rum Key, in Ragged Island, Clarence Island, Long Island, Crooked Island, 83, Betsy Bay, Maguana, 82, Acklands, 82, Matthew Town, Niagara, also 82, the Turks and Caicos Islands at 83 degrees. And your boating forecast for today: in the northwest and central islands, a southerly flow, 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Low tide, that will take place at 11:27 this morning, high tide at 5:52 in the afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your first look at weather in the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks, Basil. It's time now for the Bahamas First Traffic Report. Our Kelsey Johnson and the Morning Edition traffic team are standing by.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Good morning, Jimenita. Good morning, Bahamas. We're here on Blue Hill Road by the intersection of Ponciana and Wolf Road. Now, I can tell you about a half an hour ago, traffic was a little busy, but it has calmed down a lot, especially for the northbound traffic heading up on Blue Hill Road. As it relates to Ponciana, they are flowing smoothly as well. And Wolf Road, they are flowing smoothly as well. So joining me now is Sergeant Jerome Thompson, who will give us some safety tips as it relates to traffic.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
So can you tell us, especially those drivers who decide to drive on the dummy tires, what can we expect from them?
The dummy tires is for you to get from point A to point B to your nearest tire repair shop. We notice that persons are abusing the dummy tires. Some vehicles, they're using like 4 dummy tires in some cases. And the dummy tires are not designed for that. Even if you read on the dummy tires, it specifies what the use is for. You can't continue to drive on dummy tires because tires contribute to a lot of our traffic crashes.
And how many traffic crashes have we seen as it relates to those dummy tires?
We could assess at least for the 5% of our crashes to poor tires. And persons who would change their tires, we need you to, when you change your tires as the manufacturer prescribes. Don't put a bigger tire or a smaller tire on your vehicle just to be cheap. Because if you want to be cheap, because tires result in crashes, you may find yourself have to be repairing a HUD, a radiator, front end damages, or whatever, or even you yourself might be injured. So we encourage persons to change your tires. Make sure inspect your tires before you get in your vehicle, and change your tires often.
All right, thank you so much, Sergeant Jerome Thompson. That was your safety tip for the week. Back to you in the studio, Jim Anita.
Thanks, Kelsey. Now to news. Although New Providence residents have had to endure load shedding by Bahamas Power and Light since the start of the summer, there is still no definitive timeline on when load shedding will end. That's the word from BPL CEO Whitney Hasty from that press conference yesterday at BPL's Clifton Pier Power Station. He outlined some of the generation challenges BPL has been experiencing that's led to the frequent blackouts.
We would have had 4 additional units that would have gone down. There is no guarantee to sit here and guarantee that when those 2 units come back, that another 2 won't go down. So as long as we're in this situation where we have no wiggle room, no spare capacity, right? We're sitting on the edge every day. We cannot guarantee that there will not be any load shedding.
The decisions that would have obviated the problems we face today were not made. And so we are here, challenged to fix these problems once and for all. But as a board, we are committed to doing exactly that and not making excuses or playing blame.
Well, in other news, executives, officers, and members of the Free National Movement celebrated the party's August 19, 1992 election victory with a church service yesterday at the Voice of Deliverance Church in Malcolm Allotment. It was on that date that the Free National Movement became the government of the Bahamas for the first time by winning 32 of 49 seats in Parliament. FNM leader Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis listed some of the past and current accomplishments of his party as the government of the Bahamas.
We brought critical infrastructure to long neglected family island communities. We freed the broadcast media from absolute state control. We ended the culture of victimization and cleaned up the political process and the mass corruption of those who came to believe that the public purse was their personal treasury. We championed equality for women's rights. We instituted the most socially progressive agenda in a generation, helping to move many Bahamians out of poverty.
Well, now to education. Freshman students entering the University of the Bahamas as full-time students in the fall semester will be among the first to benefit from the Bahamas Government Tertiary Education Grant. University of the Bahamas President Dr. Rodney Smith advised students attending orientation recently to make the most of the grant that is available to full-time Bahamian students with a minimum grade point average of 2.0. Now, with the grant announced by government during the 2019-2020 budget, government will set aside $19 million annually for the education of qualified students at the University of the Bahamas.
For every recipient, this grant is going to be life-changing, a blessing, and an excellent way to begin your university careers. You represent the future of this country. You represent this country's investment in its human capital. You do not have any other choice but to succeed. You have no excuse not to complete your degrees.
Well, if you haven't visited the Junkanoo Summer Festival yet on Arawaki, this is your final weekend to do so. Thousands of residents and visitors enjoyed the annual festival this past Saturday. And Tourism Director General Joy Gibralou said the word continues to spread that the Bahamas is the place to visit.
We now know that people travel for so many other reasons. Of course, we will always be a destination where people want to come because of the weather, because of our beaches, and because all that offers. But they're also looking for something a little bit more. And this is really what the person who's looking for that authentic experience is seeking. So authentic Bahamian food, we've got music going, we're gonna have Junkanoo a little later, we already had a beat group earlier, and so they have an opportunity to go back and say, we experience everything authentic and genuine Bahamian.
And we know what happens on Mondays. When we return, let's take a trip to Grand Bahama.
I watch the morning edition because it's very informative and it keeps up with the culture and it's very, very Bahamian.
Welcome back. A young Grand Bahama woman celebrating the release of her new book. Family and friends joining her recently for an official book launch and signing. She says the book speaks to how she overcame spiritual battles and how God's grace got her to where she is today. Our Jamila Mizik has her story.
His brush, a different stroke. The artist from the beginning, unknown until my brush broke amidst the canvas of my painting.
Danae Bullard is the author of an inspirational book titled Not Yet Released, The Struggle to Succeed. She says when she first started writing her book, her intentions were simply to write about her journey to finding her faith. But she says the Holy Spirit had other plans.
The reason I am the person I am today is because it's literally all God. That God has literally delivered me. When I felt like I was going down, when I felt like there was no way of escape, when I had suicidal thoughts, when depression was trying to take me out, when the Spirit said to me, you need to jump off the roof tonight, God said, no, I have a plan for you.
She says throughout her life, she's made many mistakes, which is why a section of her book speaks to making wise choices and seeking wise counsel.
We all need wise counsel. You are not too old to have wise accountability in this season. You need to know where you're going, how you're getting there, and who's been there already. Before I wrote the book, you know what I did? I interviewed, I asked people, I did classes. No one knew I was doing classes, but I was learning.
Now the book is available on Amazon. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
A police officer, Portia Lewis, was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes back in 2002. Over the years, the disease has taken hold of both her health and finances. Today, Lewis's condition has worsened, forcing her to undergo several insulin shots daily, along with a damaged kidney and in need of a transplant. Fighting to keep hope alive, Lewis and her friend recently put together a benefit concert at the Paul Farquharson Center in aid of her medical expenses. Lloyd Allen was there and has this report.
On Friday, a team of friends and supporters gathered at police headquarters to support a very special woman. For many, the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes and end-stage renal failure may be devastating, but police officer Portia Lewis is doing all she can to beat the odds in securing a donated kidney and preserving her life. Lewis, who joined the police force band in 1985, was supported by loved ones during the 2-hour-long event, all fighting along with her. As she used her gift of singing over the years to bring hope to others, today a community of supporters and colleagues are returning that favor.
I first met Miss Lewis in 1989. I'm hopeful that at the end of this concert that we would raise enough funds so that we would be able to assist her and so that she would be able to have a few more years.
I used to write all of the music for her, for when she sang for the variety concert, the Christmas concert. Portia was one of the greatest singers and still is one of the greatest singers you'll ever come across.
Excited. I am excited to see what is about to take place in this place tonight. Man, listen here. Just the praise and worship alone has got me on edge.
The power-packed concert was littered with artists and groups who are a part of Lewis's musical repertoire, including Unified, Eunice Roll, Kelly Mackey, Carrington McKenzie, and the Public Officers Choir, and others. Moments before the start of the concert, we spoke with Lewis, who was excited but also optimistic about the future.
He said that he is our healer, and I believe that with all of my heart. If you are going through what I'm going through tonight, know that it is difficult. Know that you are going to go through some hard times. Know that the sickness is going to come. Know that the doubt is going to come. But keep trusting God.
Surrounded from the start by her closest friends, they had these words of encouragement.
We've buried 2 already. We buried one some years ago who was a police inspector, Tyann. I wish she was here today. and we buried Gia. Last year, January, who was a police officer as well. I'm tired of seeing my friends in the police force die.
She encouraged me every day to go strong and always believe in God.
We have a sisterhood, and I'm happy to just give the best of my service. And I believe in causing persons to smell their roses while they're still alive. And so this is me presenting her a rose tonight.
The benefit committee say the concert was only one in a series of events set up to raise funds for Lewis, and add that a GoFundMe page along with a medical assistant account at the Police Credit Union have also been set up in the name of Portia Lewis in hopes of raising funds to add to the life of a giving woman. Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Well, that's definitely a really great story there from Lloyd. Fisher, how are you?
I'm doing great, but I had a very good weekend. Was able to relax a bit, and it's going to be a busy week ahead because you know who's in town this week?
Who is here? What's coming up in sports? A little bit.
Patrick Ewing.
Really?
He's in town this week. He's leading his Georgetown Horse, and you know who else is in town this week?
Who else is
Remember
here?
Penny Hathaway, who played aside Shaquille O'Neal a few years ago?
Sound
He's also in
like
town
all
this
the
week.
old favorites.
All the old school basketball players are in town this week, and they'll be leading their respective colleges into the Bahamas Basketball Federation Summer of Fun. It's going to be great.
Well, that's great. Stay with us. A check on sports is up next.
Good morning once again. It's time for Sports on a Monday. Competition closing out for Team Bahamas Sunday at the Pan Am Games in Peru, where Sasha Ingram in the 78 kilo division losing to Gabrielle Wood from Trinidad 11 zip-on points. Now the Bahamas finishing 30th overall, tied with Aruba. One bronze medal, that won by Tania Gaither in the ladies 20 meters. Jamaica topped the Caribbean medal podium with 19. Let's now go to minor league baseball, where Jasrado Chisholm with 3 for 3 had 2 doubles and RBI, and his co-mate Anthony Seymour 3 for 5, a double, a run, leading the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimps by Mississippi 4-3. Lucius Fox now back with the Montgomery Biscuits, also 3 for 5, scored 2 runs and an RBI in the 12-4 win over Birmingham. And Chavez Young, he was 1 for 4, doing it in edge Bradenton 3-2. Also from Sunday, John Crell Jones and the Connecticut Sun, they are now on a 2-game road losing streak. They were dealt by the Las Vegas Aces yesterday, 89-81. Jones not a double-double, 8 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals in the loss. And the Sun, they are back on the road again Wednesday against a tough team called the Phoenix Mercury. Now, the Bahamas Basketball Federation Summer of Thunder Series will continue this evening over there at the Kennel Isaac Gym. Like I told you, Manita, Patrick Ewing and his Georgetown Horse, they are in town tonight. They will take on the Commonwealth Mine Giants. That game will tip off at 7 o'clock. This is a big week because also the University of Memphis is in town, led by former NBA standout Penny Hardaway. Also in town this week is Texas Tech. They finished second in the national championship last year, and also coming to town this week is the Serbian national basketball team. So it's a big week for basketball here in the 242, and you can also join me this morning on the OT at 9 o'clock. We'll be speaking with the newest head coach of the Bahamas national basketball team, Tamako. He's the Golden State Warriors assistant coach. This is his first interview since accepting the job last month, so he'll be my guest on the OT this morning, along with Steve Barnes, the technical director of the Bahamas Basketball Federation. It's going to be exciting. Stay tuned for that. And that's a wrap on sports. Thanks for watching.
In our final look at weather in the tropics, no activity out there, at least for the next few days. But on the home front, we still have that persistent low-level trough over the extreme northwest Bahamas. That will continue to crank up showers and thunderstorms, some which will be heavy at times over the Abacos and Grand Bahama. And here in the vicinity of the capital, we will get 1 or 2 little stray showers and thunderstorms popping up as well. And our forecast for today called for partly sunny conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms in the area. High temperature today getting up to 90 degrees with the heat index at 106 degrees. And tonight, we're looking at patchy clouds, a bit on the warm side, a stray shower during the late night, early morning hour, very possible. Low temperature should get down to 79 degrees, and your extended weather forecast over the next 5 days. Lots of sunshine in the forecast, but those are isolated summer-type showers will be popping up occasionally, and those temperatures remaining in the 90s throughout the 7-day cycle. Jamanita?
Well, thanks, Basil. That's a wrap for us this morning. For the entire Morning Edition team, I'm Jiminita Swain. Have a fantastic week, everyone.